I'd like to call to order the Plan Commission meeting for November 6th, 2024 at 6 p.m. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Commissioner Groff is absent. Commissioner Oliver?
Here.
Alderman Kubaki?
Here.
Commissioner Cieslak?
Here.
Commissioner Buckmaster is absent. Commissioner Bartlett?
Here.
Mayor Pefalski?
Here.
Planner Trezbatelski?
Here. We have a quorum. Thank you. Statement of public notice.
The agenda was posted and distributed to all news media requesting notification in accordance with the open meeting laws on Friday, November 1st.
Thank you. Motion to approve the minutes from the October 1st meeting.
Move to approve. Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. There is no old business for consideration, new business for consideration. Resolution PC 055-2024, approval of a metal accessory structure for Peter Jewell located at South 67 West 16812 Green Ridge Trail, tax key number 2170-994-005.
Move to approve. Second.
Discussion. Adam?
Thank you, Mayor. So as was noted, this was for approval of a metal accessory structure. This one's a little bit different than the ones we typically see, as this is a scenario where there was a recent land split done, and as part of that land split, there was already an older existing metal building on there. And so when they are building a new house, which they're in the process of right now, one of the things we brought up is that outbuildings need to match homes. Now, the unique thing in this scenario, and if you look at the map that's on the screen right now and in your packets, the house is being built at the far southern part of the site where the lot kind of bells out. And the outbuilding we're talking about is on the far northern part of the site where you see the little kink in the lot line. So nowhere in proximity to each other. So with that being said, staff does not have any concerns in this scenario, but as a formality, because they are building a new house and the outbuilding and the house are supposed to match, they are asking for the metal waiver. Staff is recommending approval. They want to just leave the outbuilding as it is, which we don't have a problem with. Where it's located, you do not see it from College, and at least when there's leaf cover, you definitely do not see it even from like across the farm field or anything. The tree lines that are there actually hide it really well, at least with leaf cover. So staff is recommending approval, being that there's actual no change to the metal building itself. It's really more of a waiver of that the house and the building don't match.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Resolution PC 056-2024, approval of a final plot for Twin Silos subdivision located at South 69 West 14105 Test Corners Drive, tax key number 2168-962.
Move to approve.
Second it. Discussion. Adam?
Thank you, Mayor. This is the final plat approval for Twin Silos, which is a 9-lot and 1 outlot subdivision located off Test Corners Drive. The project, if you've been by the site at all, is pretty much near completion. The roads have been put in, curbing, applicable utilities. I think they're working on landscaping shortly. Grading is pretty much where it needs to be. So that's hence why they're submitting their final plat approval, as they're at that stage right now. The plat is currently with our engineers going through the technical review, and we hopefully should get comments on that shortly. Once we have those, we'll pass those on to the developer. But the final plat is significantly similar to the preliminary plat, which is the main thing we really have to look for. The only thing that was really changed is lot 6 and 7 had a slight adjustment to the rear lot line. They were made a little bit deeper. So the lots were made larger, which is not a problem. There's no impact to that. It's just that's really the only major difference between the pre-plat and the final plat. So just with the resolution noting the approval is subject to technical review comments coming back and being addressed, staff is recommending approval.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes unanimously. Resolution PC 057-2024, approval of a building site and operation plan for Muskego Dental located at South 67 West 17587 Janesville Road, tax key number 2196-962.
Move to approve.
I will second.
Discussion. Adam.
Thank you. So this BSO is for a new building for the dental office that was mentioned. It's a new 6,500 square foot dental building. The way that they're proposing this project is the existing dental building is on the front part of the site and parking is in the rear. And what they're proposing to do is build this new building in the rear of the site, towards the rear of the site where the existing parking lot is, while keeping the front dental office active, so they don't have to close down for their clients. And then once the new building is done, they'll be able to remove the front building and then expand the rest of their parking per the plan that's proposed. So as far as the general project goes, as far as looking at starting with the architecture, the proposal is for the dental office, as was mentioned, as well as they are having space in the building that could be used as like an additional medical suite. So there could be some other type of medical type field sharing the building with them. As far as design goes, you'll see a lot of windows, you'll see brick, you'll see wood siding, masonry pillars, aluminum composite metal panels, are all different features you're going to see. The brick is mostly a dark gray color or graphite, and the masonry matching the pillars that you see near the entranceway will be under the windows with the medium brown tone. And then there's also some brownish wood siding looking material that's on the upper portions of the building also. As far as the masonry breakup goes, you will see that the building has good amount of portions of masonry. The development team was really good working with staff based on design guide recommendations to get the building to where it's at with masonry. So the front and the two sides of the building all have anywhere from 61 to 86 to almost 70% masonry, which is commendable and great. The only side that they're asking for a reduction to masonry and is on the back, which staff does not have an issue with. They are looking at doing the back predominantly in that composite or in the siding panels, the siding in that same similar gray color. And staff doesn't have a concern because the back area is parking most likely for employees, given the location of it, as well as there is a fence proposed along the southern rear lot line to block it from the neighboring outlot and then eventually homes behind that outlot. There also are some trees in the outlot area, which should help further screen this, but staff is okay with that reduction as the overall building more than exceeds the 50% recommendation in the design guides. They are showing a dumpster enclosure off the side of the building that will be comprised of the same masonry material. They put it in a location that was not too visually obtrusive, but also not too far back on the site where you had heavy trucks driving all over the asphalt. As far as the general layout goes, access will still be gained from Janesville Road. They currently share an access with the property to the west of them. One of the things that the city is requiring in the resolution is that they do have to formally establish a cross-access easement or present us that one already exists. We're not aware of one existing, so it's just a good cleanup tool. Both neighbors depend on each other for the driveway, so it should be a very easy and beneficial document to help ensure access to the future for this site, as well as that site to the left or the west. As far as other parking goes, there is 8 parking stalls and 4 handicap stalls in front of the building, with landscape screening these from the kind of drive aisle from adjacent buildings. 11 stalls are shown along the east side of the building, with an additional 10 behind the building for a total of 29 with 4 handicap stalls. The internal drive aisles do show, but will have to meet 24-foot width, and the stalls have to be 9 by 18 in size. They are showing the entire site being curbed and gutter as per our typical recommendations. Now, in the zoning code, when it comes to amount of parking, the code states 5 parking stalls are needed for every practitioner on staff. They do currently know that there's 7 full-time practitioners and 2 part-time staff, and there is future for some additional staff. Now, knowing that, but also looking at just the actual number of stalls versus kind of their current use and so on, it does appear that there should be plenty of parking for what their need is, even with the increased practitioners. Now, the one thing that did come up, though, was the idea of kind of the temporary parking. Because they're doing this in phases and they want to build the back building while the front building's still in use, and that involves them losing the back parking, which is the bulk of their parking right now. It's a loss of 12 stalls. The resolution does state that they do have to get approval via temporary parking agreements with adjacent neighbors. I guess the owner and the contractors have been in talk with some of the neighbors, and many of them seem receptive to helping them, as a lot of the parking on adjacent sites is pretty underutilized, either east or west. I know I did receive one email from the development team about one site that's willing to give a few stalls. What we'll just have to work out with the applicants is exactly where those 12 stalls will be made up temporarily and figure out how we let customers know to go there, whether it's signage or something else. But that is a condition of the approval that they get those 12 stalls temporarily while the building's being built so that there's no disruption to the other sites without shared agreements. Other than that, really, the typical things are in the resolution relating to mechanicals being screened. The mechanicals, the way they're placed in the roof may not be visible anyway. Want to be sure that if they are visible, they're screening of any kind of transformers. We'll eventually review a formal landscape plan down the road when the formal building permit would come in. Any signage will follow the typical signage requirements and need a separate sign permit. Lighting and photometric details, there are some details that have been submitted. Everything looks pretty good at this time, but we'll give that a more thorough review at the at the building permit timing also. The one thing that is noted is there was some notes about 2-foot concrete bases, and as we know, the ordinance talks about 6-inch concrete bases, so that is something that needs to be modified. And if they need to gain a taller light pole to get to that 15-foot height, they are welcome to, but that's something that's in the resolution and will be checked at the time of permitting. Otherwise, engineering will review the project as it moves forward regarding any kind of water, sewer, stormwater, anything like that. Given that the existing site has a lot of impervious surface, there may not be much, if anything, that needs to be done relating to stormwater. So staff is recommending approval. We think this will be a great addition/improvement to the site, and look forward to the new business coming to the city, or expanded business, I should say.
Any questions, comments? Yes, sir.
I just have two, I guess, really small ones. The plans state that trash enclosure has a pre-finished wood slat gate to match the building, and the building says it has engineered wood siding. I guess I would just either like to ask the petitioner if they mean pre-finished wood, pre-engineered wood slat gate to match the building, or if they're actually looking at doing wood on the enclosure.
Come up to the microphone, please.
The fence itself, or the gate, would be in a siding similar to the siding that we would use on the back. And we would either use siding or masonry for the two walls that form the body of the enclosure.
Okay, so pre-engineered wood similar to the building.
Correct.
Okay.
I just have a quick question. The kind of black or the dark bronze elements that kind of form the flat roof and kind of around the entrance, I noticed it said aluminum composite panels. Is there a joint pattern to those? Is it really a monolithic look like we're showing in the elevations?
No, there will be a joint pattern. Typically, it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 8 to 10 feet. We will position those joints so that it ties in aesthetically with the architecture.
Okay. And are the joints like the same color as the panel?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's going to look similar. It'll look consistent, but there will be some physical joints just because you can't go that distance without having some separation.
Sure. Okay.
Any other
good, thank you.
questions? Any other comments? All right. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. There is no miscellaneous business.
Thanks.
Motion to adjourn would be in order.
I like staying here all night.
Yeah.
No, I'll make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned at 6:15.
I wanted to wait till 6:15.